Merry meets everyone, Earthfire here. I have another oil video for you. As always, you don't have to do exactly how I do things. This is just, how I chose to do it. As you guys know, I like to add lots and lots of layers, but you don't have to add near as many things as I did. You can simply add salt and cinnamon and frankincense to this, and it would be perfectly fine. Those are just some random ones that just popped off my head. But if you just have salt that you want to add to it, then that would work just as well as this does. But I tend to like to add a lot of different layers, so I just wanted to mention that. As always, do your own thing. This is just how I did it and my idea, and if I do it again at a later point when I need it, I probably won't do it the same either. So but I wanted to go ahead and share it with you. This is going to be a protection oil, so it's good for protecting, anything that you need protected, your home, your family, your property. As always, you can definitely use this oil to anoint whatever spell work it is that you're using. You can put it on candles, you can use it on mojo and sachets, poppets, all kinds of stuff. You can even anoint amulets and talismans. You can anoint your cars. The list is endless which you could use it for. Anything that you want protected, you could use this for. Keep it in mind, it is an oil, so if it's not something that you should be putting oil on, I wouldn't be putting oil on it then. So like I said, this is just my version. I always like to share with you what I'm working on, and right now I have been making lots of oils because I didn't have any. So it has lots of different stuff in it. I hope that you're able to see it. But you see some eggshell right there. But like I said, I normally make whatever size jar I have, so this will last me quite a while. And I've been doing a lot of protection work lately, so I needed some protection oil. So I'm going to go ahead and get into what I used. As you already know, I add different elements to each one of my spell work. So I have my main ingredients for my protection, and then I have ingredients for strength and success. I normally add those two in to whatever it is that I'm working on. I do have a quartz crystal in here. It's just one of those little chips that I charged with the power of protection, so you could add that if you wanted to. If you don't want to, then you don't have to. So I'm going to go ahead and get into what I used. So the first one was carnation, and these are carnations that I got for, I want to say it was Valentine's Day or my birthday, something like that. But I saved all the carnations that I got and I dried them out, and I've been using them in my apothecary. So carnation is good for protection and strength. So so I wanted to add that because it also has an aspect of my family and home. So the next one is rose. So I have rose petals and rose buds in here. And these are just ones that the petals we got online, and the rose buds we got at our natural food store that's here in town. So as you guys know, rose is good for protection. I use pretty much rose in everything. I just really like using rose. So I've added a little bit of rose to it. I added some eucalyptus, which is good for protection. I've added some frankincense resin. I ground it up in my mortar and pestle and added it. With an oil, you don't even have to grind it up, but I did kind of make it into smaller chunks because the ones that I have in here are rather larger, but it's also good for protection. So the next one I used is rosemary. Rosemary is very good for protection. I use rosemary in almost everything too. So if you had nothing else to use, you could use some salt, sea salt, regular salt, whatever salt you have, and some rosemary, which you can normally find in any spice section of any grocery store, and you would have a perfect protection oil. So definitely keep that in mind. The next one I use is marjoram. As I've said in many videos, marjoram is a all-around herb you can pretty much use for anything, but it's good for protection. And sage, as everybody knows, is good for protection. I have powdered sage here. I don't mind using powders in my oils. I give them a good shake before I use them, and I rarely ever strain my oils after they've sat for a while. I always leave the stuff in it. So yeah, sage and sea salt, of course, as everybody knows, is very good for protection. It not only helps protect, but it'll absorb negativity, so it kind of has a dual purpose. Cinnamon is another one that's really good for protection. And I have both the sticks here and the powder. So this is a new thing that I've just got in my apothecary. These are actually pistachio nuts, and I've saved the shells, and I've actually got a few pistachios in here, but they're very good. Nuts are very good for protection. So I don't think it matters what type of nut you're using. This is what I had on hand, so I thought I would add it to the apothecary, and it has worked out really well. So the next thing is eggshells. Eggshells is really great for protection. It's also great for fertility and, you know, all of that stuff. This is just eggshells that I take from when I make eggs for my family, and I just clean them out and I dry them out, and then I add them to my apothecary, and then when this gets low, I always just break up new ones and add to it. So the next one is pepper, which is black pepper, is very good for protection. And then lastly is garlic. So I have a mixture of powdered garlic and dried garlic in here. Garlic's very good for protection. So what I've chosen for my strength aspect is mugwort. Mugwort is great for strength. And then for my success, I use ginger and clover. You know, because I want to add an element of success to everything that I do. So these are usually my go-to ones that I choose. I did also add black glitter to this oil and a quartz crystal, like I said. You can't really see the black glitter, or maybe you can. But you know, the color of black is for protection. So I thought that I would add it in there. I thought it might be a little bit more visible than what it is, but I'm a glitter freak, so I've been adding glitter into pretty much everything now. But I wanted to go ahead and share this with you. I think it's turned out really well. I normally when I finish an oil, I'll add it, or I'll set it on my altar for at least 3 days before I use it. Some people tell you have to wait several weeks before you're able to use it. I wait a minimum of 3 days. 3 is kind of my number, so that's how I do it. But you go ahead and do however it is that you do it. If you guys make protection oils, definitely share your process with us in the comments, and I will see you next time. Blessed be.